All right, welcome back to the thrilling conclusion of A Skeleton Tries Dare Mode. That's right, it's the thrilling conclusion. But Skeleton, I hear you say, you've only released one other episode of this. Well, my brain is simply too big, and I did it too fast. So I'll show you how. Let's get into it. First dare is, I dare you to never eat fruit again. Who cares? We have plenty of steps. That's a total non-issue. We've honestly gotten super lucky with these dares so far. So you can see me drafting the first room in each one because that's one of our dares. That has not been an issue for me. I'm not sure if it will actually dead end you in the entrance hall, so kind of doesn't matter. We got some pretty good rooms off the bat here, a storeroom and a nook. I decided to go east to grab this gem. And immediately we see walk-in closet, which is a pretty lucky pull. Some extra steps, a couple of gems. I was worried for a second that cupcakes count as fruit, and they do not, which is nice. And, oh, can't eat that. We'll just, there we go. Yeah, the green rooms seem to give you the best items for sort of the early stages, right? Especially, shovel for getting steps and keys, and the sledgehammer for opening chests. Can really boost your runs early on when you're low on resources, and then the bedroom items and the other kind of more specialized items are a little bit better once you're further into the game. I'm taking Parlor here to grab some gems, hopefully. We're already sitting on 2 keys and 5 gems. Which is pretty nice for the first couple of ranks. Someone pointed out that I got super lucky by opening the gem mine on day, I forget if it was 1 or 2, I think 1, before we got the only touch 1 button on the breaker box dare, because if we had gotten that without opening the gem mine, it would have made the gem mine impossible to get, which makes that dare hurt a lot more. Honestly, if I had gotten that dare without opening the gem mine, I might have just trashed the save and started over, because that's rough. Looking in the courtyard, because there's usually a good item in here. We get a shovel. And just going to dig around for a second, get a nice rock. That's a huge rock. Drawing south-facing rooms on the west wing is kind of nice, because it gives you a chance at her ladyship's chambers, which can get you the extra steps and gems. And then I'm thinking maybe garage would be good here because we have a lot of gems and not many keys, and we grab it. Seems like garage has a really high chance of spawning here. Oh, we also had the car keys, which after you've already taken the upgrade disc out can give you some good items. We've got a treasure map, which is okay, and a magnifying glass, which is nothing. I have not opened the outer room yet, because I'm thinking it might be good to get a trading post there, or if we can get some dice, then we can look for a tomb. Tomb has a chance of spawning, in the first pool after day 1. But yeah, I'm thinking tomb might be good. So our goals for today, we have the elevator down, right? And we have the west drive, and all of our outer rooms basically set up except for Black Bridge, but we don't care about that. So our goal is going to be to move the minecart today. Because we've already got the elevator access. And I took Great Hall because that's going to get us into the basement key. Just trying to judge. So the lever is always in the corner, or in one of the corners. I was trying to decide which side to look in first. We got a key and the lever, which is very nice. And that's the antechamber open on the right. And then I took commissary here because we've got enough for an item, except we don't. Most of the useful items are 8 coins, but yeah, it's all gems and stuff. There is a workshop there, which is pretty nice. We might be able to get the power hammer today. We've got a sledgehammer and the broken handle now, so yeah, that's looking pretty likely since we're still early days here. We find the treasure map spot and get to digging. So I took Observatory because it's our second time drafting it, which means we'll get the twins, which is 2 chests in the entrance hall, which is great, especially since we have the sledgehammer. Super strong. Not so exciting on day 1 or day 3, right? Because then you just get the coin on day 1 and 3 steps, I think, on day 3, which is kind of nothing. But yeah, the twins are very good. And we're rich. 40 coins is going to go a long way. That can get us a couple keys, a set of gems, and the commissary is right there. So I'm thinking probably a good idea to run back and, you know, we kind of need some more keys and gems, so it might be a good idea to stock up. Gotta finish this fiendish puzzle here. So I know we're probably going to run outside to look in the outer room at some point. I probably shouldn't have waited this long. Probably should have doubled back. But I'm thinking... I think I'm waiting for dice to make sure we can get Tomb. I don't really want to loop back south here, so yeah, Blessing of the Dancer, again, coming in handy. It's such a good, cheap blessing. And then, so I recorded this a few days ago before, apparently they patched in my most requested feature for this game, which is once you've put the safe combination in once, just leave the fucking safe open, right? At least on that save. And yeah, they hadn't done that yet. But on day 4, you'll see that is the case because I came back a few days later to finish this. Looking at Dark Room. The problem here is if we turn off and on Dark Room, then we won't be able to flip security, which could be an issue, but we do have the security card in coat check from last time. I'm grabbing some keys and gems here. And yeah, I picked it because it has a good chance of spawning the battery pack for the power hammer, but we'll need to both find the breaker box and coat check really to make that work. And then I know there's another door leading north here, so I'm trying to figure out if I can tell which one it is. Again, I don't know if you can, but we got lucky. We have no money, so kitchen is kind of a weird pick here, but I kind of wanted to wait to put down dining hall until later, until higher up in the house, and there's a good chance we'll make some more coins, especially with the shovel. I flipped the bedroom to get us into the foundation. And don't touch that apple. So we get to dig in the foundation, and wow, what a good dig. The secret garden key is such a good pull. We already have the right side of the antechamber open, but you know, you never know. We might get screwed up there. The chances on pulling a special key like secret garden are super low without the upgraded detector shovel. So unfortunately, we have both coat check and utility closet here, which we kind of need both of. Utility closet we want to flip dark room, but then if we take that, right, if we flip dark room, then we need to get the key card. So thank you, by the way, to like the approximately 4,000 people that told me you can flip dark room off and on before going in. I was aware of that before. I think I do it in one of the other videos. But there were some people who were confused and seemed to think that you could flip it off and on before even pulling dark room. So I was trying to explain that, and I should have clarified that what you actually can do. Oh well. So we're going to make a run back to Dark Room eventually, but I'm coming out here to grab these chests, and we still have the outer room to look in if we want to just go for it. Nice combo of items in there. We're pretty stocked up right now, except on coins, but whatever. There's nothing good in commissary anyway. Here I'm considering where I can get a battery pack other than Dark Room, and if there's any other items we can make. Workshop obviously not guaranteed, but it's not that uncommon. I think it is. I think it's standard rarity by default. It can be kind of tricky to get it to draw sometimes because the game will never put a door pointing outside. Ooh, this was too bad. Yeah, no tomb, so I took shelter because we've got some of the more painful red rooms still in the pool, like weight room and archive. And if we want to look for battery pack, that has a higher chance to spawn in some of those red rooms, like archive. So that's why I took shelter. Yeah, so the game won't ever put a door facing the outside of the house, right? And which means those, like an L-shape room can spawn even if you're facing the outside of the house when you draft, right? Or if you're facing north, going up one of the wings, you can still pull that L-shaped room because it'll just point away from the outside. Whereas I already had workshop. Oh, I'm stupid. I forgot. Anyway, yeah, so workshop, any room that's a straight corridor, right, is a little bit more restrictive in getting it to place on those outer rooms. Unfortunately, well, not too unfortunately, Darkroom has a lockpick kit, which is probably going to come in handy, but no battery for us. I rotate Billiard to point north. Denser is so good, it's so strong. Getting free rotation for, well, not free, but getting rotation for one gem. Like, once you have, you know, a good means of getting gems, so strong. So we're looking in Billiard here, just trying to grab some extra keys, or maybe the security. I actually don't think we can get the security keycard because it's in code check. I think the only place you can find the item that is in your code check is in the code check. It won't appear normally in the world. Obviously, that doesn't matter for, like, contraptions that you build, because you don't find those, but, yeah. Although, I'm not sure if you can build a contraption that is also in the code check. I don't know why you... That's a pretty niche use case. Anyway, I'm thinking maybe Gymnasium for the running shoes, because we're a little low on steps. Weirdly, Gymnasium seems to save you steps overall because of the frequency with which running shoes actually appear in there. Like, usually it only costs me 2 or 4 steps, right, to go in and out, maybe once or twice, but then running shoes are in there so much and those save you on average like 10 to 20 steps. I don't know. Doesn't seem like a bad room to me, even with the malice you get without turning it off. We're going into security to set the doors to low because we still don't have that key card, and I didn't bother switching it to unlocked when disabled because we can't disable it. So we're probably going to hit security doors at some point, which might screw us, but hopefully we can put them somewhere that doesn't really matter. Nothing in the spare green room. This seems to have a little bit lower chance to spawn items than other green rooms, seems like. You still can get shovel or sledge and stuff in here. Sometimes there's a battery in the... yep, there's a security door. Yeah, sometimes there's a battery pack in the lab, but we at least get an experiment. Dice is pretty much an automatic pickup for any given experiment, and we've got plenty of gems, so I took that one just because it has a good chance of triggering. So there's our other security door. With the settings set to low, on average you can expect 2 doors, right? Medium would be 4 and high would be 6. So with those 2 doors in place, I'm pretty confident we're not going to see any more. We get a nice dining room placement and some nice country stew pie. Never heard it called that before. That's clearly a shepherd's pie, but what do I know? Lockpick coming in handy. There's the coat check. Pretty bad placement though. If we take coat check here, the entire left side of this house will be cut off. So, man, really hurt. Yeah, I really want to take it here, but I don't think we can. I think we got to go for pool. Pool, I figure, would be good if we can get pump room. We're probably not going to get a powered pump room. That's such a pain in the ass to set up. But if we get a pump room, that we can at least drain the fountain. Which will give us an alternate entrance to the underground than Tomb. Tomb is way more reliable to hit, because you just need one or two dice, right? But it might be good to just get that minecart out of the way today if we can. I kind of want to go into day 4 with everything already set up, so we just have to open antechamber and then go into room 46. So we do draw a boiler room here, so it's possible that we hit a powered pump, like, immediately, which would be crazy. Oh man, are you guys gonna have to watch me mess around with the pump room puzzle? Yes, hopefully I remember how to do it pretty quick here. Sometimes you get dig spots in this room too, which is kind of nice. And trying to time this right, first try, amazing play. Bringing the elevator down. Man, this might be the fastest I've ever finished pump room. That was, like, pretty clean. Oh. Do I forget to... Oh, yeah, he did it. Good job. Good job, skeleton. And then I just gotta go flip this thingy. And they really make you turn that the most amount of times, huh? Alright, so we've got power now. Oops, I forgot to send the bridge across. Okay, I did fuck up. Man, I cannot do a puzzle without fucking up one thing, huh? There we go. So I'm going to try and send power to one of the... well, we only have one exit here. I'm going to try and send power to the door. If you're drafting from a door that has power going into it, which you'll see the blue line there at the top, right? The power's now running to that door, so when I draft from it, it has a much higher chance of giving you a pool of rooms that have power, right? Or that use power, which we don't get any of. This is the dramatic irony generator that I was referring to last time. Yeah, 3 rooms that don't use power. So I just took library because, you know, fuck it. That was a waste of time. Thinking maybe we can still get pump room from here. And no dice. I probably should have used secret garden key. I think I forgot I had that. But that would have been a really good placement for... Well, we'll probably still get it. I don't remember. This was a few days ago, so I'm trying to remember what I was thinking at the time. Locker room is pretty good. I mean, we don't really need it at this point, but I'm kind of running out of things to try and do with this day. We don't even need to get into the antechamber today. We don't have anything to do there, right? Because we can't use the basement key. Oh, you know what? We do need the basement key to open the fountain if we get that. Looking in the gym for running shoes, and it gives us the left side access that we don't really need. Trying to peek it. I don't think I can peek it from here. I feel like they have that bench placed in such a spot that it makes it really hard to see if the shoes are on it from outside the room, which is very dastardly. Yeah, that draft didn't look good, so I re-roll it. And there's our pump room. So we can drain the fountain now. And I use the silver key here to make sure we don't cut ourselves off from the antechamber, because that door's on the right's already open. So this is nice. We can now grab the basement key right here and then run back to outside to the fountain and open that door. We can't really do much in there other than move the minecart today, because we can't bring the reservoir down a point and drain the fountain fully without powering this room, which is why I was trying to do that from the boiler room, right? But moving that minecart will get us set up pretty good. So between that and the foundation elevator for day 4, like, we are basically fully set. We'll just need to, hit antechamber, get the antechamber open, and get down the foundation elevator, open room 46, and then that's an easy win. Let's skip ahead through me dicking around in the pump room. So we're going into the conference room. There's nothing in here. Okay, so we've got the basement key. Now we just need to go down to the foundation and we can open that door. So that way we don't have to get the basement key from antechamber tomorrow. That door will stay unlocked. So we'll go open that door for tomorrow, and then we'll take the elevator back up and run outside to the fountain and open that door and push that minecart out of the way. And then we'll be, fully set. Oh yeah, check this out. When I take the elevator down, there's like a weird visual bug. I'm not sure what is going on there. Alright, so we just got to do this infuriating pushcart puzzle that I managed to still get wrong every time I try it, in a different way, no less. We'll just skip ahead through that. Oh, here I remember that you can get lost and found here, and I cannot, for the life of me, remember where it is, which is kind of, well, that's not really ironic. I guess it's ironic in like an Alanis Morissette kind of way. But yeah, I cannot for the life of me find the lost and found, so I just give up on that because, who cares? We're not going to need it. All right, and after galaxy braining my way through this puzzle, we get to hit the button. And that is the North Underground open. Yeah, we can't do anything there yet today. We need one more dare on the dare sheet before we can actually go into room 46. But that gets us set up nicely. And now we just have to run outside the fountain. And we unlock the fountain basement door. And we just go push this minecart. And that's pretty much it. We're going to call it a day there. Very well set up for day 4. And hopefully we don't get any dares that absolutely fuck us over and make all of this like a waste of time. I'm sure that won't happen, right? Right, guys? Guys? Okay, and then this was a few days later. Jumping in to try and finish the rest of dare mode here. We've gotten very lucky so far with the dares, it feels like. Nothing really too restrictive. And we check today's dare, and I dare you to never ride elevators, which, holy fuck. That just completely trashes our plan, right? So, no foundation elevator. And then I'm taking a second here to try and think what our other options are. So the fountain is drained, right? Which means we could go down that way to take the boat across, but to get that point out of the reservoir, we need to power the pump room, which is vanishingly unlikely. However, if we get pump room, then we can fill the fountain back up and take the point off the reservoir and then go down through the tomb, right? And get in that way. The only other alternative is to make the power hammer and hammer our way in through the basement on that outer wall, which feels a little less likely than getting pump room and tomb, but it's good to keep both options open, right? And I think I mentioned before that basically the most important thing you want to do is try and stay adaptable and keep as many of your options open as you can. So that's our plan, is to either try and build power hammer or get pump room and tomb open, and then we can skip the elevator that way. So I'm just kind of going through the early ranks here, doing our usual song and dance of trying to stock up on items. Can't eat that fruit. Man, I was so bummed when I saw that there. I was like, this was all going so smoothly, and then it just totally fucked me. We see the greenhouse there. The greenhouse is a good room. Like, it gives you antechamber access basically for free. We won't be able to make power hammer if we go that way, right? Because we'll need to use the lever on there. But you get gems, you get dig spots, you get a watering can a lot of the time. Like, it's good. And then I've got veranda here, which is an immediate pickup because that will give us a lot of more items in green rooms. And we get the free gem back because of the watering can. Because it is a green room, it usually has a good item in there like the sledge. So we're doing okay on keys. We went a little too far north on the west side here, and we're hitting locked doors already. We don't really have the resources to be this far up yet. And then I'm going to take Aquarium here because it counts as a green room, and veranda basically doubles the item table, which means you get to roll twice for loot, and we get a shovel and a handle, which is amazing. So that's already 2 out of 3 ingredients for the power hammer. It's looking good so far.
Say the line, Bart!
That's a huge turnip. And I'm going to double back south here because we only have 1 key, and I'm scared to go north. So, Blessing of the Dancer coming in clutch again. We take Parlor to get the gems. And I really kind of barged my way in through that door. It feels kind of aggressive when you don't wait for it to open. He's like shouldering his way through. Grab in some gems. For how much I talk about trying to make the power hammer, I don't think you guys have ever actually seen me make the power hammer. It's occurring to me now. I've talked about it in like every video, and I don't think I've built it on camera once. It's hard to get it to come together. We're taking conference room here. Pretty nice to have a little central location to double back to. I'm basically taking every green room I can find because we're getting the gems back and we're getting double the item pool. So yeah, here again we get a metal detector and a chest, which spawn on the same table, right? But thanks to veranda, we get both. You don't always get 2, but it's like an 80% chance, 75% chance for an item to show up, which means if you're rolling twice, a lot of the time you'll get 2. There's a coat check, which is... I think I take coat check here because, man, I really don't want to screw myself with... Although, I can't remember. Did I do gymnasium? Yeah, I take coat check here, even though it's closing us off a little bit, because I really don't want to get dead-ended by security doors, and we're so low on keys that we probably won't have many alternate paths open to us at a time.
Say the line, Bart!
It's a huge turnip. We're immediately burning some of these keys. I want to get over to the east wing to look for more green rooms, for even more items. Patio would be pretty good because we've got the conference room right there. take chapel because I'm not too worried about coins, really. We've already got most of the stuff we would want from the commissary. And secret passage will give us access to more green, so I take that and immediately pull the green. So we had already put the aquarium down, so it was pretty surprising to see another aquarium here. It seems like aquarium sort of skirts the only one copy of a room per house rule, without chamber of mirrors, right? And again, because it's a green room, we get 2 item spawns. Kind of a crummy pool of rooms here. I take Den because it's nice to have a gem, and the other ones weren't really doing anything for me. Feels bad to put down a 3-way as a dead end, though. We don't really need utility closet, because we've already got the key card, but I figure maybe we get a dark room, and if we can flip that off and on, then we could maybe get a battery. And commissary, I don't really care about at this point. Like, there's nothing I want from that. And library is like a nothing room here, right? So I think I take utility closet here. Probably thought about that longer than I needed to. I don't go in there because we only have 1 button to flip. So I want to wait until we get either like gymnasium or dark room. And we immediately get dark room, so pretty nice, pretty convenient. We do have to run in and out of the chapel a few times, but I kind of don't care about coins at this point. Might be nice to get a kitchen later and buy something, but whatever. Or a locksmith, that could be good. So yeah, we use our button flip, our 1 button flip on dark room. And we're gonna go hopefully get a battery pack. And it's a gem. Oh well. Kind of a rough pool of rooms here. I end up taking gymnasium because you get shoes in there a lot of the time, and it'd be nice to get over to foundation, since we're a little bit low on keys. Foundation has 2 or 3 dig spots. Pretty good chance of us getting a key in there, but I don't go in yet because I want to see what's over here. East Wing Hall keeps things pretty open for us. And I take billiard room because we still need to open the antechamber. So I'm thinking maybe Secret Garden would show up in here. Great Hall is going to be a painful way to try and do this because we're so low on keys. We do, worst case scenario, have the broken lever for the greenhouse, but yeah, as mentioned, that would lock us out of building the power hammer, so we would need to have tomb and pump room open. We get a silver key, which is kind of a drag because that's most useful for getting Great Hall to show up, in my opinion, or for making absolutely sure that you aren't going to lock yourself out. And we use it here and don't even get Great Hall. We do get weight room, which lets us open the south door of the antechamber if we have power hammer, so I'm thinking maybe that could be good. Really hurts to eat 26 steps here, but we still have kitchen and dining room to put down, so I'm not too worried about it. We pulled patio here. That's going to dump all the gems down in the conference room, but it's going to be what, like 7 gems at this point? Yeah, 7 gems, which would be pretty nice, especially because we can burn them on rotations. We got a key in here too because of the veranda. It's a huge turnip. We see a walk-in closet appear. I'm getting a little worried about this upper right corner, but there's a very low chance we're going to get into the antechamber this way. And we do really want keys and dice, and we do find 2 dice in there. The telescope is nothing. Today would be the slice, which is 3 steps. So we can make that 6 steps, which is okay, I guess, but I'm not too worried about observatory here. We got dining room, which gives us access to the north, which is good, and some much needed steps here. I think I just grabbed this now because I don't think we'll be getting a trophy room today. Man, that quail would have tasted a lot better with a trophy room in the house for some reason. So sort of awkward here. We can only take bedroom to get us into antechamber, although that vault would be maybe nice. We do see car keys here, which could get us some useful items today. And back through the security door. I pulled drawing room here because I'm thinking we probably are going to want a workshop at this point. So I think I go to the north door to try and pull it because we also might want a straight shot through this next room into the antechamber, right? So I'm pretty sure I redraw here and no workshop. I might even, yep, redraw again looking for workshop and still no. So I take ballroom, which, yeah, not helpful. Here I did a double take. I was like, I didn't open this safe. And then I realized they must have patched that in. So laboratory can give us the battery, so I take that. And for the experiments, I'm thinking probably spread dirt because we need to run outside for if we are going to try and get tomb. And spreading dirt can give you a lot of keys, and I see we're at 0 keys. And then I think, like, well, we need probably want the battery, which can show up in Aquarium. And I back out of the experiment here to check how many bedrooms we actually have down. And yeah, we have 4 counting the aquariums, I think, so we're good on that. And yeah, with this combo of things, each bedroom you draft, yeah, I hesitate here because I'm like, maybe we do aquariums instead. Because then every aquarium we put down also counts as a bedroom, right? Meaning you just get 3 aquariums every time you put one down. So I do that because they count as green rooms, right? Which with the veranda means double item spawn chances in each one. So I'm thinking that's a very good way for us to maybe get the battery and at least get some other stuff. So infuriatingly, we're locked out here and we have to go like loop all the way back around the house to get to the same room that we would be drawing into anyway. So we waste like 10 steps here or something just going all the way around. That was a bummer. I'm pausing here to think if I want to run through the gym to foundation, and there were running shoes in here the whole time. Maybe I should have just stepped in and looked, but we got 3 dig spots in here to look in. And wow, that's a nice key. That's a huge key. And apologies to the huge turnip gang, but no love in the foundation for us this time. I'm gazing wistfully at the elevator, wishing we could do that, because this run would already be done. But instead we gotta do a bunch of bullshit to try and flip that lever instead. There's a ton of gems in here, and they're all blue, which is kind of exciting. I don't know if the conference room always does this. I couldn't remember, but yeah, seemed kind of odd. Maybe there's an answer in the deep lore for all you Blueprints lore heads. So the pool will give us the pump room. I give it a rotation so that we can get back the other way into the lab. And wow, luckily we pull a key there. So now if we can get pump room, then we don't need the power hammer. And wow, first try, immediately a pump room. So now I'm going to pull all the water out of... I'm going to dump a bunch of water back into the fountain because we won't be able to use it, right? And I'm going to take 1 point off reservoir. And I also drain the pool just to get some coins. We'll skip ahead through this. Okay, so we've got the pool empty and 1 point off the reservoir. And that's to let us take the boat across, in case I didn't mention that. So the astute viewers among you may have noticed that we could technically finish the run right now if we can go out and get tomb. We only have 1 die, so I don't want to redraw anything. It's still technically possible to build a power hammer, but we still need a battery and a workshop. So I'm a little worried about that. I'm mostly looking for another die here. No items in this one, which is kind of a bummer. With 2 rolls on that table. Oh, I realize this is actually our last spot to maybe get a workshop. So I'm trying to gauge if I think it would be better to go for that or to save that die for the tomb. I think this was a mistake that I re-rolled that, because I think the chance of us getting a workshop there is lower, especially with all of our... I'm not even going to acknowledge that fucking turnip. I don't want to hear a goddamn word about that turnip in the comments. Yeah, I think it was a mistake to re-roll that, because the chances of us getting tomb on 1 die is way more than us pulling workshop there, especially because we have so many aquariums in the pool right now that we're actually... It's only like 2 out of the 3 rooms instead of 3. Anyway, yeah, that was a fuck up, but it all worked out because we get study, which means we can now re-roll with gems, right? Which means we don't need dice anymore because we got 7 gems. At this point, I'm like, oh, I can win the run right now. The thing is, the steps are really tight, right? It's going to take us like 15 steps to run down to the greenhouse, put in the lever, flip it. Man, it's like Turnip City in here. Whew. This was like a really steamy... If you're into turnips, man, this is your episode. This is like a... This was a good one. Anyway, yeah, it's going to take us like 15 steps to get outside, to flip the lever in greenhouse, then run outside and over to tomb. And then it's going to take us at least like, what, 6 or 8 steps in the underground to take the boat across, do the cog puzzle, go flip the room 46 lever. Then we have to take the boat back across, run out of the tomb, then back into the front of the house. So that's like another, 6 to 8 steps there. We do have running shoes, which should reduce that drastically. But then it's going to take us another like 12 steps to get up to room 46, something like that. So man, it's like down to the wire here just about. That turnip on the patio actually kind of saved our butts. And there are a few more dig spots here. I think there are some in the greenhouse that we hadn't hit either. So we can look for those when we slot the lever in. And that's the south side of the antechamber open. 2 dig spots in here to look at. Wow. Now that turnip is normal sized. But that pretty much solidifies our ability to go do this, right? I think 30 steps is going to be plenty to run there and back, especially with the shoes. So now we just need to go pull tomb, but that should be a guarantee because we've got 9 gems and we can redraw with the gems. Man, this run really came down to the wire. Now that I think about it, like, if we hadn't pulled that study up there at the top with our second to last room, right? Our third to last room, then we might have been totally screwed, even though we were so close. So we do get Tomb. Here I kind of had to take a... I'm looking around for more dig spots, even though we don't really need them, but I just kind of like digging up turnips. And wow, look at that one. Whew. That's a good looking turnip. I can't anymore. Yeah, I kind of had, I was sure that we had done the tomb puzzle on day 3, because again, this was a couple days later. So I was like, where's the fucking door? And then, oh, I haven't opened it yet. So we'll skip ahead while I tab out to look at my notes. And we're going down into the catacombs. Catacombs? Into the crypt. Open the door. Look how spooky the music is down here. Just making sure I had that minecart moved. And now we get to boat across. So in watching these little boat sequences, because you can't skip them for some reason, I noticed that, like, I don't know how I never noticed this, but he's got like those like leg braces that people with like polio wore, or maybe still do. I'm not sure if those are still, to me, they're a very like 1930s thing, 1920s thing. But maybe that explains why he can only take so many steps a day before he gets all tuckered out. Yeah, maybe he's got something going on with his legs. Again, one for the lore heads. Kind of have a bad habit of not really paying attention to anything in this game that doesn't seem like it has anything to do with a puzzle. Like, a lot of the backstory lore stuff, I kind of glaze over it. I'm just here for the puzz, you know? I fucked this up, again, as usual. Like, I cannot do this cog puzzle on my first try, no matter what. So we'll skip through this to the lever. All right, and we're into the underpass. Gonna open the door for room 46, and then it's just a matter of making our way back out. This was quite a weird one. Like, up until day 4, it felt way too easy. Super breezy, just like going. I feel like I didn't have to play really any differently in dare mode for the first 3 days. And then everything got thrown under the bus with that last dare, and I had to like reconfigure my entire strategy, which was very fun. And this is what I was talking about earlier with like staying adaptable and keeping your options open, right? This, honestly, if we hadn't gotten that veranda very early on to double all our green room item rates, then this run would have been dead. Or, you know, the idea of doing it on day 4 would have been dead. But yeah, it all kind of came together for this one. But yeah, those first 3 dares, like only drafting the first option from the entrance hall, it's kind of nothing. Don't eat fruit is so whatever after you get the orchard open. And then the breaker box could have been really bad if we hadn't opened the gem mine, and after that it's kind of a non-issue because you're mostly just going to use it on security unless you coat check the card. like I did, and then you don't even have to worry about that as much. But that fourth one's a doozy, huh? I would fast forward through this, but on the day one run I did, somebody commented that they really liked the music that plays, and I agree. It's a good track. So we're gonna let this roll, and we'll all just bask in the glory of my gigantic brain. Felt good to do this on day 4, though. I definitely texted Ben, and he was not impressed. But he's a hard man to impress. Just making sure I don't screw up getting back up there. Yeah, we're ending with like, oh, don't you dare. Just teasing you guys. Man, how bad of a misclick would that be if I was just like fucking around and accidentally clicked on that apple and just torpedoed this whole thing in the home stretch? That'd be sad. Oh, I love when there's multiple doorways that you can see through pointing at the exit like this. So cool. And then I accidentally bump into the pedestal. Yeah, that's it. We're into room 46 on day 4 in dare mode. Ben, if you're watching this, no, I'm just kidding. It was fun. I feel like we got pretty lucky with the dares compared to some of the other ones I had seen, but it was still a fun challenge. So thank you to everybody who stuck with me watching this through all of these episodes of me trying to finish dare mode. I know it's been a long journey, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun doing it. Next up, I think, is going to be Keep Driving, which is that indie roguelike road tripper thing, Eurotrash, scuzzbag, wastoid youth kind of road tripping game. Super fun. And then, oh shit, Monster Train 2 just came out, and I loved Monster Train, and I goofed around in Monster Train 2 a little bit, and it's even better. That game is the shit. If you don't know Monster Train, it's very kind of Slay the Spire, but with some interesting twists. I mean, you're driving in Monster Train 1, you're driving a train full of demons into the heart of hell to restart the fires of hell, and angels are trying to board the train to stop you. And it's like a kind of tactical roguelike deck builder thing, but some really cool mechanics in that. So definitely I'm going to play that. I'll record some of it because that game's the shit. And then a bunch of other stuff coming up. This will probably be the end of my blueprints content for a little while. I assume I will come back to do curse mode, but whoa. So I'm going to take a little break from it, and we'll revisit it in a few weeks probably, and play some other games in the meantime. But yeah, thank you all for joining me, and I'll catch you soon.